Good morning. It is Thursday, the 6th of February. Just coming up to 6:15. Hubby left about 10 minutes ago to work. My son will be getting up very shortly. Got my dressing gown on this morning, the one that's got my name on. And thank you, dear friend. I know you bought me this a fair few years ago, but it is snug. It is very thick frost. We should have put our heating on auto last night because it felt cool anyway when we went to bed. But we do sort of like it a certain temperature, but our heating can come on really early, and I think we're going to have to start putting it back on auto. Especially as we're getting up at 5, because suddenly hubby's got overtime again. So he's got overtime this morning and is working an hour tonight. It is a staying day today. Now I'm going to prop you up on a stand so I can have a little chat. Alright, I think that's a bit better just so it is stable. I'm feeling a lot better. I do have quite a lot of pain and I do work through it, and some people might think, well, got problems with my back, with my legs, but unless it is really chronic pain where I have to rest, I do find it sometimes in bursts. My energy levels are in bursts, and sometimes it does sort of end up either really in pain or really tired. I really don't sleep very well. Having problems with my legs, as I said, mainly. I've not had drastic problems with my back, but I think it's due to a lot of things going on. One, my age. Yeah, I'm a lot older than probably what I look, although I feel ancient, antique, and all sorts of things. I feel it really when we've got a granddaughter, but bless her, she is a little munchkin. I love her to bits, and I'm keep going because I have been told by my GP that it's best to lose the weight. This has been an issue for years, and I'm sure it's an issue for a lot of people. Weight. Now, a lot of people want to lose weight not just to feel good, but in my case, it also is a health reason. And I know this for a fact. I am diabetic. I do suffer with high blood pressure. I'm asthmatic, although I haven't had problems with that for quite some time now. So yeah, there is quite a few, and I do take quite a lot of painkillers. So there's one thing I keep saying, or I'm trying to explain in this little chat, that yes, it's best to try and move about as much as I can, because I do find after getting up in the morning or sitting down, even if it's for just a short period of time, I have to allow myself more time to actually move, to get going. And I move about a fair bit, so my body doesn't seize up. And at the moment, I'm not having a bad morning. As I say, I am a morning person. The guys are evenings and night owls, but there you are, talking about owls. And change the subject, I've got to show you. I brought this in a number of times, and this was a birthday gift, not this year, but some time ago. And it says, I saw an owl sat in a tree. He opened one eye and winked at me. It's an owl and it's useful. This was actually from my mother-in-law, not this birthday, but the previous birthday, and I love that. And of course, I love owls, as you all know, and especially, if they're useful. And just have a sip. Yeah. So going back to pain and everything, it all has a knock-on effect. You're in pain. You can't get stuff done, although I try to. That's why everything is much slower this year, and normally by the end of January I've actually whipped through all of my own home. Excuse my wording. It's getting the words out. Sometimes it's there and then I'm speeding along, if you can understand this, to get out what I'm trying to say. Usually by the end of January I've got everything done. I've gone into February now. I really want to get this done before the end of February, but I have to pace myself. And I keep giving myself a sort of pat on the back when I've completed something, because I haven't given up. That's the main thing. And some of this can, if you're in pain, don't sleep, you know, feel cut off from the world even, don't want to talk to people, and then you can go into depression, anxiety, panic attacks. Now, I know those three are all linked: depression, anxiety and panic attacks. I have in the past suffered briefly with depression. It was all linked. Most of mine is anxiety and panic attacks. The panic attacks are not so bad. It's that anxiety attack, especially when it's really bad, or you have trouble in breathing and you think the whole world is on top of you. And basically, if anybody knows what I'm talking about, sometimes you have to just stop. I have got a circle of family and friends that are really there for my, what I call my well-being circle, and I can count on those people to either talk or come round. I mean, my husband knows and is a heavy sleeper, but even I've woke him up because I can't breathe, and you know, he's there now and he's talking me through it. Do you know what I mean? It is really calm. My son witnessed a really bad panic attack, and he's seen them before, but not that bad. This was some time ago, and was just to sit in the lounge, and I had quite a lot on my mind and things coming up at all ends, family and everything, and I just went into a full-blown panic attack. And it did shock him a bit because he hadn't witnessed actually that. It's like idle hands, you know, if you've got an idle mind, especially when I go to bed. That's why I write things down. Never want to go to bed, what do I say, with an argument. I have calm right down. Before I was put on certain medication, yes, I got really bad. I didn't really want to leave the home. I would be always in tears, and you know, the slightest thing, and you know, I was like this, and trying to not, you know, lose it. You might not realise this, but this is one reason it was a delay on YouTube to actually make my own channel, and I kept putting it off because I was made redundant 4 years ago now. I haven't got that, and I'm in the position at the moment to get myself back into a good position, and that's where YouTube's helped me. So thank you very much, all my subscribers, and I know I've hit this, and I've seen quite a lot that people who have started YouTube are basically in the same boat. They may feel cut off. Now that cut off bit, I've addressed that for maybe 2.5 years. I do have my community centre behind me, and a number of wonderful people, male, female, and some children as well that I've seen regularly when I do children's crafts during the holiday. I have got that circle. And also, I don't want to mention names, but the person who runs the community centre, I've got to know really well. That's why I'm now doing a craft session. It is voluntary, so I'm getting myself back out there. Now, there is a number of things I'm trying to address, but I can't feel as though I can address too much at once. And it doesn't take too much to slide off that seesaw. Now I'm going to mention the seesaw because it's like up and down, and I try and stay in that middle bit. You know, if you're sitting in that middle bit, a bit even, sometimes that bit too up, try not to let it go down here. So I want to be up here or just sort of in the middle of the seesaw. I don't want to be that it's tilted right like that, right down. there's a number of things I'm trying, and as I said, sometimes, and I know some people it hits hard that haven't got anybody living with them, and I know, without mentioning any names, I've heard and spoken to people, and I'm no expert. Sometimes these things get discussed in our wellbeing session, and I can't say too much because it's privacy, but I know it can hit people that are on their own or have lost a loved one or a partner, and I know that can really, really drag you down. And I try now to talk things through. If I'm dead quiet, that's when my family tend to know that something's wrong. That is a really bad position for me because I like to talk things through. It's like talking to the camera or talking out loud. You need somebody there to just work through a problem or something you're trying to sort out, something that's not in your control. That is the one thing. When you're not in control, like your environment or family or friends or somebody that you cannot control, that is when my anxiety goes through the roof, and I have to watch my breathing. That affects my blood pressure, which affects something else. So going back to moving about, that's why I do what I do. I love organising, and I'm trying to turn around all that negative into positivity. That's what I'm trying to say is, instead of saying, oh, and I'm trying not to do this, I didn't get this done, I didn't get this done. And I don't like saying I'll do it tomorrow, because I know family members say this, oh, we'll do it tomorrow, we've got plenty of time. Or I don't work, get it done. You'll get it done when you do it, which is okay. But I like to do just that little thing. If I can't do what I plan to do, I try and do something else. I like to feel at the end of that day I've accomplished something. But instead of saying I didn't do this, I didn't do that, and yeah, I'll probably say that on camera. On the other hand, I like to turn around and say, well, yeah, I didn't do that, but I did this, this and this. I've accomplished something. I'm happy with what I've done. That's another comment that not often comes up on my channel. I'm pleased that I got it done. I'm glad I got it done. I'm happy I've got it done. You know, it's just that positive thing that's coming through. I try not be, although I have had the instances where I could easily, you know, sprawl out on the sofa, put the TV on, not do anything. But I know for a fact, me as a person, if I did that without accomplishing something in that day, then by the end of the day, when it's bedtime, I'll feel that I haven't done anything today. I've wasted a day, you know. It's different if I'm really ill, but even then, I have to be really bad not to do my 30 minutes, one load of washing, my 10 item pickup, and if I get those done, I stay on top of my home. Do I say I try to? It's the others, the family members, that's anything else that goes on, that can be the problem. I think they have got it in their mind now. What I'm trying to say is that if I do that little bit every day and a bit of hoovering, I try and put a bit of hoovering as well, it keeps on top of. So if that day I suddenly don't feel brilliant or well, I can get on and do, you know, and know that everything's sort of in its place. And then after 2 or 3 days, and as you know, I wouldn't say I'm a sickly person, but I'm a klutz. Yeah, I think there's no other way to say that, klutz. And I'd probably say, oh, I don't feel right. And I have had a number of people say, oh, I hope you feel better, especially YouTubers, you know, and subscribers. They've come back to me and said, oh, well, I'm sorry to hear you're not well. And I'm trying to go for a stage and stop moaning about my illnesses or my aches and pains or whatever, because there's always somebody worse off. I know I'm blabbering, but what I'm trying to get through is to do something. It's when that, I think the worst thing is when that bad headache or migraine hits. Touch wood. that is when everything goes down. Or like I hurt my hand, and on the 21st of December, if I remember rightly, I was down A&E in the hospital twice with my hand, and everything went to pot. Literally. Well, again, I've been negative. No, let's not say everything went to pot. Let's just say it didn't go to plan. But I did have family members rallying around me. Luckily, I didn't have to cook the Christmas dinner. I had a family get-together on the 24th of December. But I managed it because it was hubby's birthday as well. Luckily, he finished a couple of days earlier because they didn't want to work Christmas Eve, you know what I mean? So it did sort of work well. Sometimes, I don't know how people feel. I'm a big believer in fate. And yes, you can try and sort of lead your own destiny, do I say, but I always feel as though for some reason everything happens for a reason. I don't know if anybody will agree to me. Things happen, and sometimes they are out of your control, and you might be able to put things in place to go the way you want, but in the end you just have to go with the flow. And I'm going to say it because I haven't said it for a long time. As hubby says, wing it. What will be will be. Que sera, sera. I've got to say that. That actually came up in something I was watching recently. Was it a movie or something I was watching? I think it was a movie. I was watching a romantic movie, Que sera, sera, Doris Day. So, yeah. But it's if it starts taking that slope, almost like a slide as well. I'm using seesaw and slide. If you feel you slowly sliding down, I like to put the brakes on and try and turn that round before it actually gets rock bottom. Excuse me. So I'm not sure now, after talking to you, whether this will actually go up, and I don't know if anybody's going to be interested in this. But just from pieces that people say and what I've heard myself on YouTube, that's why a lot of us, I think, do it. For me, it's a big confidence builder, and I've got to say to my subscribers and anybody that's new, that's come along and, you know, just gave something positive, it all means something to me. I do try very hard to reply to the comments and come back, and sometimes they end up being essays because there's so much I want to talk, and I do like that two-way conversation as such. Yeah, I still haven't got my wedding ring on. My fingers are better. You might notice I leave it on the mantle. I will try and get my ring back on, I think, because it has been a certain amount of time now. As Sophie says, are you going to be married to me again? You know, yeah, he's an angel. I don't know what I would do without him. He's my soulmate, and we support each other. Do I say, I don't think we're chalk and cheese. We like a lot of the same things. Now I'm going off on another one. But I've said this. He's more of a calming aspect in my life. Is a wing it. You know, he can let things to a certain extent go over his shoulder. He'll say, well, again, he's a great believer in fate as I have. It will get done when it gets done. If it's something else and not under his control, like environment or a person, he'll say, well, what can you do? You only can do the best you can. And if it gets late or something and the issue can't be sorted, he'll say, well, can't do anything now. What's the point of worrying? Wing it, pretty laid back. You've seen him on camera, you know, and is the common aspect in my life. Me, I'm a born warrior. I suffer from anxiety. I plan everything to a certain extent, and I try not get upset or down if my plans don't come to, you know, a conclusion. Sounds a bit like the A-Team, if anybody remembers that, when a plan comes together. Do you know what I mean? you know, I'm taking a few comments from movies. I am a bit of a movie buff, and I do like a lot of the 80s series as well. But I think I'm going to have to cut this if I do actually put this up. I'm just coming across because some of my videos may not be that interesting. It is not just for your benefit. What comes up is me. And I've said this a lot of times, and I keep repeating myself, and I say that all the time as well. What you see is what you get, and this has helped me an awful lot. I have had the odd comment, but you have to take the good with the bad when you're doing YouTube, you know. I'm under the impression if you haven't got anything nice to say, don't say it. I have never been bad on leaving comments to people. I do say to myself, you know, everybody's allowed their own reasoning, their own outlook on things, and how can I explain it without getting too emotional? It does help, and I'm sure if you have been in a situation and it's got really bad, that sometimes you just need that outlay. Is that a word? To come across, and that's why I wanted to spend a few minutes. Actually, I never actually was going to do this. I was going to get straight on and do my to-do list. But I'm just trying to explain to you, if you've stayed all this time for me rabbiting on or ranting on, I don't want to call it ranting, rabbiting on, rabbiting. Let's say rabbiting, because I'm not ranting. I'm just trying to bring that negative and bring it into the positive. And what I do may not make sense to some people, but it makes sense to me. And once again, if this has not come across understanding where I'm going with this, I do apologise. And I'm going to leave it here because I think this is going to have to be in a separate video. As I said, that's even if I actually end up uploading this part. I'm not 100% sure about that. I may have to even go back on it myself. But I'm just happy that I've got an amazing following group. I've had so many subscribers. Even if you're not subscribed and just come along to my channel, I do appreciate it. And I did leave a target for the 1st of January 2020, and it was to reach 500 subscribers. I'm not sure if I actually mentioned this. I was going to do a little announcement, and 100,000 views. Now, I knocked that out of the box. It was over 1,000 subscribers by the 1st of January. And again, thanks for all that support. I'm not sure what my views are, but they're way off the charts. I'm not sure exactly what they were, but it was way past the 100,000 mark. So thanks very much. Again, I'm thinking of Scrooge, Christmas Carol. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, I can't sing. So I'm going to leave it here. Hopefully I will upload this. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.